Hey everyone, my name is Evan Freiberger, and I am currently going to a wedding. No, it's not for me, but yeah, I'm going to be going down to Florida, destined for vacation, but obviously there's some more pressing matters at hand. We do have a new tropical depression. Some breaking news happening. A new tropical depression has formed in the Gulf of Mexico. This is Tropical Depression 14, not yet Milton. And yes, that is the name of this storm, is Milton. And yes, everybody hates Milton. Nobody wants Milton. Milton needs to go away. But as in this forecast, as you can tell, it's going to be a little bit different than usual, as I am in a car. But I'm going to try to make it as interactive as possible, as I can, at least in a car. And yeah, in this forecast, we're going to be going over the potential tracks of this storm, how strong it could be, and who is going to get it. So let's go ahead and get right into it. Chazzy, what you think? Where's the storm going? Oh, okay. He said Alaska. Weird. First thing that we're going to talk about is the environment that is going to be around this storm. And one of the main things that is super important is to have warm waters underneath it. And we actually do have plenty of warm waters, even though we just had Helene kind of go through where this storm is going to go. There are going to be enough warm waters to sustain tropical activity, and even potentially, if the atmosphere does allow this thing to strengthen quite a bit, maybe into a Category 1 or a Category 2. Some models are even indicating a Category 3. So we're definitely going to have to watch the trends on this one. This is definitely not one to ignore. But yeah, the first thing we're looking at is whether or not we'll have enough moisture out there for the storm. And as you can tell, most of the models that come in the most bullish has the most moisture. As you can see indicated here by the greens on the GFS, you can see that starting off in the western Gulf of Mexico, there's plenty of moisture. There's a lot of dry air to the north, and this is along the frontal boundary, and that could interact with the storm. And in fact, the models that are coming in and on a weaker scenario are saying that the dry air does work its way into the center of the storm, which disrupts tropical cyclogenesis, and unfortunately, keeps the storm weak. And that's what we want. We want the storm to be a weak storm, but unfortunately, the GFS, as you can see here, is painting a picture that the dry air never entrains in there. There's plenty of moisture. You see plenty of green in the center of the storm, and it strengthens quite quickly as it goes north of the Yucatan Peninsula and starts to make its way over to western Florida. We're talking areas like Cape Coral, potentially Key West, potentially all the way north towards Tampa Bay is also going to be possible here. So initially, this is kind of the thoughts. It could meander a little bit more to the north as well. We'll have to see what happens, watch the trends. But yeah, it looks like there's going to be plenty of moisture. Also, the next thing that we look at is the shear. And there's going to be a lot of shear on the northern side of the storm, which will actually help vent the storm. If it interacts a little bit too much with the shear, it is going to cause the storm to kind of struggle to organize into anything more than like a Category 1 hurricane, maybe a low-end Category 2, just depending on when it interacts with that shear. If it's a little bit later, it's going to be a little bit of a stronger storm. But yeah, the shear and the low pressure system that is going to be trying to form into the Gulf of Mexico is going to interact with each other and try to push off to the east towards Florida. And it looks like the pattern's pretty set here. Even if this thing meanders, it'll most likely still kind of go west, but there might be more of a northerly component. But the more northern component seems to be a little bit of a weaker trend. But yeah, now we're going to look at the ensemble members here to kind of get an average of where this thing could go. And if you look at the EPS, the GFS, or the Europe or the Canadian model ensembles, you can see that they're all pretty much bringing this into western Florida. There's really not many other scenarios. Again, if we push this far enough out, you can see that we do have a couple members that are trying to meander to the north a little bit, but again, it's only like 1 or 2 out of 30 ensemble runs. So very obviously the averages are bringing this into western Florida right now. So that's who needs to be paying attention to forecasts. I wouldn't go out on a limb and say, sometimes we get these surprises where we get, big trend shifts. And if we do get one, it'll most likely be a northern shift out of this storm. So I would still be paying attention over there, kind of on the Big Bend of Florida, potentially over there near Destin, potentially in Mississippi, in Alabama. But again, that northerly component is a super super low risk. I don't think it's going to go up there. I think, again, we're talking near the Tampa Bay and Cape Coral area with this storm. But, you know, it's still a little bit early. The storm just formed. Model's going to get more consistent and more accurate as we get airplane data in there. So we should have a lot more to know going into tomorrow. But all right, thank you guys for watching. That's going to be it for me in the car update and a little bit of a Chazzy update. And also, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. And I will see you guys. We're going to be going into full forecast mode with live streams and videos, doing updates on every little thing that this storm is doing and could do starting tomorrow on Sunday. So I'll see you guys.